everyone, Karen here, and today I'm going to be making a little birthday card using this Betty the card from Crafter's Companion. The sentiment I'm going to use is from this Too Much Staff stamp set, which is the one down here. And I'm also going to be using the shrubs from the Celebrate Good Times house, because they were a really good size to put with this car. So those are definitely good bushes to keep in mind if you have that. Alright, so our little car here is going to be on a road. So let's go over the pieces that I have cut here to make our road. So this first piece here is just going to be a scrap of white paper. That's going to be for the window. And I'll put that over here. We'll deal with that in a second. So I have 2 1 by 6 3/4 in green. And this is just going to be some grass. So whatever shade you want your grass to be. I have a 2 1/4 by 6 3/4 that I'm going to use to make my road. I have from the Home Away from Home paper pad a 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. This is going to be my background. I have a 4 7/8 by 6 7/8 black, which is going to be my mat for the card. And I have a 5 by 7 card base all ready to go. And this is, of course, all going to be in landscape. So let's talk about the ink I have. I have some black quick dry ink that I'm going to use for stamping. I have some pine tree water reactive. I'm going to do some shading on the bushes. And I have some Chinese red, which I think will be the correct color for my car here. Now, for my happy birthday message for the front, I have 2 nesting dies. And this is just a set I've had for a very long time. They have a little stitched edge to them. So when you cut those 2 out, they're going to go like this, and happy birthday will fit in the middle there. These here, like I said, are all the shrubs from the house. I'll take this out real quick. So it's this die here that makes all the shrubs. The rest of this is for the car. So let's take this die out because there's a lot of pieces here. So let's go over this one by one. So the obvious one is this big one here. This is the car, and it cuts out like this. Right, so I have one car. Now when you cut this out, the windows all come out. So you have 2 choices here. You can either paper piece these in if you're putting your car flat on your card, or what I'm going to do today is cut a piece of white. I colored it with sparkle pen, and I'm going to glue that to the back side. So that's what we're going to cut this out of. So the 2 here are these little circles here. Let me find them over here. Are these circles up here. And they are going to be the side mirrors. Then the bumper is this piece here and this piece here. So this is the piece of the bumper that goes around the wheel in the back. That's the front bumper. The tires are this die here, and then your hubcap is the center one. I have one made here. We'll make the other. Then these here that are nested together on the card, these are for the headlights. So I'm going to do silver for the outside of mine, and then white for the inside to make my lights. Now, this car is made to be a girl, but you absolutely could make this a generic car, either boy or a girl, by using the center of the headlights and black, and that will be my eyes. The little smile for the car is this piece right here, and that is cut right here. And I think that's everything, because that's the shrubs. All right, let me put this to the side. All right, so I'm going to bring in my stamping platform, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp the happy birthday, because this is the only thing I have to stamp. So I'm just going to go ahead and get that done. So I have the white oval from the 2 nesting dies that I had. And I'm going to stamp on this, pick this up, and I'm going to use quick dry ink. All right, so that's nice and dark. And I'll put this to the side. Alright, so next I want to construct my road and my grass. So what I want to do here, I have a little finger dauber and I have some pine tree. So I have these two that are 1 by 6 3/4. So what I'm thinking is I'm going to put one here on top, and then I'm going to put this one behind. And that's just to give my road a little depth, to make it look like that grass is a little bit further behind. So to make this happen, you see how I cut kind of a wavy edge on here? So that's what I want to do. So if I have the wavy edge here for the top of my grass, I then want to cut a wavy edge on the top here for the road before it goes back into the other side of the grass. So I'm going to take my little scissors and I'm just going to come along here and I am just going to cut an ever so small, just wavy, uneven line. Doesn't really matter. It just looks a lot more realistic than a straight line. So now this will be here. And then my grass is going to be behind here. But I want to do the same thing with the tops of my grass. So I want to take this and do the same thing. Just kind of uneven. Now there are going to be some bushes on here. So some of it will be covered. But that way it won't have a straight line whatever's showing. Alright, now to get all this glued down, I'm going to start with the 4 7/8 by 6 7/8, and I'm going to glue down the 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. And once again, this pattern paper came from Home Away from Home, and that paper pad came out a while ago. So I'm just going to put this on here. It's a tiny little border. Pretty good. Okay, so now we can start constructing the grass. Now I want to make sure that this is how high I want this to be before I start gluing things down. So I'm just going to lay this on here and see what this is going to look like when I put the car on here. I think I kind of want that smaller on top. And then I can put the bushes. Yep, I think that's the way I want it. So very small on top. Alright, so let's put this over here, put that over here. Now let's flip these over so I can glue them down. Alright, so this one I'm going to put on top, flush with the bottom of the black. And this one, I'll put the glue on top of the green, and this will go behind the road. I'll put that down, and I'll kind of bring this up. There we go. So now I have my little road. So there we go, our little road. So now our road is ready to go on the card. Go right on here. Like that. And then our car will go on here. Alright, so let's let this dry. And let's talk about this car. Alright, I'm going to bring in my tacky glue for this. So this is the car body that we cut out. So first let's talk about the window. So what I want to do here is I'm going to lay this down on here. I'm going to take a pencil, go around the windshield. Hold that down. And go around. So now when I cut this, I want to cut to the inside of the line, because I don't want this paper to show. So I'm cutting away my pencil line and just tiny little hair past that. So now this will fit behind here and you won't see it. You can just glue that on. So now you can put glue all on here and glue it on and it will be fine. Now I did this one ahead of time because I did cover it with sparkle pen, and this does take a moment to dry. The glue wouldn't stick to it if it was wet. So I did this about 10-15 minutes ago and just let that dry first. And it does give it just enough shimmer to make it look more like a window instead of just flat. And all I did was just, after shaking the pen, just went all the way across, just like that. And then just let it dry. So that's all you have to do with that. Alright, so let's go ahead and glue this window on. So I'm going to flip it over and put glue on here, across here, now we'll just lay that down. And there we go. Now, if you didn't want to do it this way, you absolutely could cut out the car a second time in shimmer paper and just paper piece them back in. But since I'm going to put this up on foam, I wanted a solid piece back there. So there we go. There's our windows. Let's see. I am thinking I want one eye here and one eye about here. And then his little mouth will be here in the center. So that's what I'm thinking. So now that this is dry, I can go ahead and put glue on top of that and glue these down. If this was wet, it would never stick. So that's why I did that ahead of time. Alright, so there's our little car's eyes. Make sure they're straight here. Okay, so let's talk about the wheels. So if we look at the picture, they are showing 3 wheels here. And so 2 have the hubcaps on them, and then 1's back here. I'm going to see about putting a 4th wheel on there and see if it looks right or not. So I know I need 2 wheels that are going to have the hubcap. So I have one there. So I'm going to put a little glue on there. I'm going to pick up my other hubcap piece here. And I cut this out of just mirror card, silver mirror card. And I'm just going to put that in the middle. And this black is just plain black. Nothing fancy about it. And that will go. Oh, I should have left it. Should have left it be. There we go. So now, to put them on, I'm going to put glue on the back of the car here. Grab the one wheel. I think it should be about here. There's one wheel. I'm going to put glue on this side. Now, since this is the back wheel, this should be a little higher than the front one. There we go. Make sure our car has a little bit of perspective there. Okay, so now let's talk about the bumper. So there are 2 bumper pieces. This one goes across the front here, and this one comes in across the wheel like this. So these I also cut out a mirror card. Let me grab my tweezers. Before I get glue all over the place. So let me put this one in place. So I'm just going to line up the bottom here and the wheel. Slide that into place. Now the other bumper goes across the front. And I'm just going to line it up here. And it sits there. And that's a cute little car. You can use that for a lot of things. If you don't put the eyes on it, you can really use this car for a lot of things. Okay, so now our back two tires. I'm going to put some glue here in the front. And I'm going to decide where I want to put this. So it's the other side, so I'm not going to see a lot of this tire. I'm thinking it should probably sit a little bit back, right about there. Now this is the tire I'm not too sure about. So I'm thinking there should be a fourth tire, like right here. I think I am going to put it there. I'm not going to see a lot of it, but at least it will be there. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball it here, because it should be even with the back tire, maybe even a little higher. And just sit back there like that. So now I have all four tires. I think that looks better. That could even, let's see, could even come back a little bit more. Yeah, so there's a little bit of space between the front and the back tires here. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, so now he's got four wheels. So now let's do the headlights. So I have mirror card for the outside of the headlights. And I'm just going to put a little dot in the middle. And I'm going to put plain white paper headlights on here. There we go. Let those sit for a second. And while those sit, I want to bring in the side mirrors. So there's a mirror that's going to sit right here. So this one sits in the front, like here. Maybe over there a little bit more. And the other one should sit in the back. So I'm going to put some glue here in the back. And let me decide where exactly this should sit. I'm thinking about here. Maybe that a little bit further over. There we go. That looks better. Yeah, so definitely you want it just past where the windshield ends. And then the other one you put in from the back. Alright, so our little car's coming along here. So now we have our headlights. Which here again, you don't want to put them completely straight because the car is sitting at an angle. So you want this one a little further away. Since this car is curving up, you want this headlight a little bit higher than the other one. So let me put this one on first, I think. That one down. Put this one down. See how they look perspective-wise. Let me decide where I'm going to put this little mouth here. I think his little smile needs to be down here. I think that's good. I think I have this upside down. Alright, so we put, I think the best thing to do here would be to put a little dab of glue on the mouth. Way too much. Take my tweezers and let's place his mouth. Give him a little happy little face. you go. Now our little happy car is finished. We'll put him over here to the side. And let's move on to the bushes and placement of everything else. Okay, let me bring these bushes in, because I have a couple different colors of green. I have a light, a medium, and a dark. There we go. So I'm going to take some of this pine tree and just kind of go around these a little bit. Give them a little depth. I'm not sure how many of these I'm going to end up using. Alright, that's probably good. Let's bring in the happy birthday and get this attached together. Okay, so I have some foam that is 1/16 thick and a 1/4 inch wide. So I'm going to put some on the back of here. That's too long. And put a piece here. And we'll attach the happy birthday. And this will just go in the center, like that. Now, we can start putting everything on the front. Alright, so we have happy birthday, we have our little car, and we have some bushes. So I'm not sure how many of these bushes I want to use. I think that might be it. I think that's too many. Okay, so now we have to decide what is going up on foam and what is not. Okay, so I have my foam. I have all 1/16 thick foam. This foam is a 1/4 inch wide, and this is 1/8 inch. So I will go back and forth depending on what it is I'm attaching to see how wide of foam I want to use. I like to keep both handy. So the car, I'm thinking I'm going to do what I normally do here. Now the question is, do I want a line down that road? You know what? I think I want a line. Let me grab a white marker. Okay, now this is all glued together, so I'm going to have to be brave doing this. Let's see, so if my car is sitting here, going down the road, I need to put the line probably not quite in the center. So if the center is here, I'm going to come up a little bit. And you know what? I'm actually going to use a ruler. I'm going to bring in my T-square. I may even do this upside down. And it's because I'm left-handed, so this way I can be coming toward myself. Here's my spot. And I'm just going to put some lines going down the road. I know these should probably be yellow, but white will be fine. I will give that a moment to dry. Alright, while that dries, I'm going to decide if I want the happy birthday on any more foam. I think I do. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on 1/16 inch foam. Put a piece here and a piece here. Get that ready. That will be ready. Now I'm going to take my trees, my 5 trees, and what I'm going to do, okay, 1, 2, 3, and the back sides, 4 and 5. I am going to put a little piece of foam on the top, and I'm going to glue the bottoms down to the card base. And this just gives your card, I know I've done this a bunch of times, it just gives your card a little bit more depth, as far as depth perception, I should say. And just makes your card stand out a little bit more. So that should be good. All right. So I had to think about this for a second. So if my car is going down the road this direction, I want him on the right-hand side, I think. Yeah, I want him over here on this side of the road. Now if you live someplace where you drive on the other side of the road, you put him on the other side of the road. And there we go. So now I put my trees, my little bushes here. I have bushes here. I can have a couple bushes over here. Maybe I can use a little bit more, a few more bushes. But you see how putting the bushes, when we glue down the bottoms and then the tops stick up, it actually does make them seem like they're up in front of the road instead of being glued onto the road. So I'm going to go ahead and put the happy birthday on here. I know where that's going to go. Right, so that's going to go right here. A little bush on that side of the road. Now this one I will just put flat because this one's supposed to be in the distance. So that one can just sit like there. Move it down a little bit. And let me take the tape off with these. Put some glue on the bottom. Gluing the bottom down, the top sticks up. I'm not putting these in a straight line because no bushes are growing in a straight line. I'll put the lighter bush in between, like that. Then I'll take a darker one over here. I'm going to put another piece of foam on this one. So this time I'll put the light green one down first. Now a darker one. And the third one. Let's see, does it need any more bushes, or is that good? I think I'll leave it at 7. And I think that's all the front of that needs. All right, let's glue it to the card base. This will just go in the middle. All right, now for the inside of the card, I have beep beep, make way for the birthday champ. Time to rev up the fun and hit the highway of happiness. So this is a 3x5. So this is a 3 1/4 by 5 1/4, and I'm going to glue those two together. deal with the smudge later. Now since I have a couple of these bushes left, I think I'm going to put some down here. So let me get the card opened. And I'm going to put this on the inside. I think I need to refill my glue again. This will go in the center. And I'm going to put the little trees down here in the corner. Put one over here. I'm going to hang it off the edge. I'll put this one down here. Overlap it a little bit. And I think I'll put the third one over here. There you go. And this is all finished. Happy birthday. Beep beep. Make way for the birthday champ. Time to rev up the fun and hit the highway of happiness. So I hope you enjoyed this card using the Sparkle and Sassy. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up because that's how YouTube counts everything. And please consider subscribing to my channel because every week I have more videos. And until next time, stay crafty.